Right now, millions of people are walking around with a credit score they don't fully understand. Yet that three-digit number can determine whether you get approved for a home, a car, or even an apartment. And the truth is, that one number can cost you thousands of dollars over time if you don't understand how it works. The real question is, what does a credit score actually measure? Today, on Getting to the Green with Nitra Green, we're starting at the foundation and breaking down what a credit score is, how it is calculated, and why it matters for your financial future. So stay tuned with us, grab your pens, grab your pads, because understanding your credit is one of the first real steps towards financial confidence and getting to the green. Today, we're starting with the foundation, understanding credit. A lot of people hear about credit scores, but they don't always understand what they mean or how they impact everyday life. Today, I'm joined by someone who is deeply passionate about helping people take control of their financial future. Nitra Green, also known as Nitra Green, was born and raised in Tennessee and is a proud wife and a mother of 4 wonderful children. She brings more than 25 years of experience in the finance industry and has spent the last 3 years serving as a certified financial counselor, helping individuals better understand their financial situations and make informed decisions about their money. Her passion is rooted in education and empowerment. Nitra is committed to helping people improve their financial lives by breaking down complex financial concepts and encouraging healthier financial habits. Her mission is to inspire and motivate others to pursue financial independence and become more in tune with their overall financial wellness. Outside of finance, she is also the creative mind behind Green's 360 Photo Booth, a business dedicated to bringing joy and unforgettable experiences to weddings, graduations, proms, and community celebrations where every spin captures a memory. Please help me welcome Nitra Green to the series, Getting to the Green with Miss Nitra Green. Welcome.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. It may not be morning where you are, but it is for me.
Right.
Good
Good
morning.
morning, good evening, grand rise, whatever you are, we are here and
Wherever
we're
you
so
are.
excited for this series.
Absolutely.
Uh, Nitra, what is going on, man? This is a good time. I'm so excited. We have actually been speaking about this for quite
We
some
have.
time, and
We
we
have.
brought this into fruition.
Yes, I am so excited to have an opportunity. First of all, thank you for allowing me to share my information that I've learned so many years of knowledge of and have so many years of knowledge of. So thank you for having me. And I'm so excited to be here today.
Absolutely. And what people don't know is we're actually kinfolk.
Yeah, we are. Yes,
Yeah.
we
By the
are.
blood, under Grammy. Yes, sir.
Absolutely. You're exactly right. Hey, I'm excited. I'm excited for you for having this podcast and this platform for me to be able to give my information out to people to help them. So I appreciate you.
Absolutely. Well, let's not stall any longer. Let's actually hop into it. So our first segment, we're going to talk about what is a credit score. So if you could, you know, briefly kind of explain what that is.
Sure, absolutely. So basically, what credit is kind of like a report card. I'm just going to keep it simple for you all because basically, a lot of people don't have a whole lot of knowledge. And when I say a lot of people, most of our people don't have a whole lot of knowledge of credit. And so my thing is to get you to where you understand what credit is and what that 3-digit score is. Credit is basically, like I said, a credit card, just like a report card. I mean, you look at a report card and you base different A, B, C, D bases is basically telling you what level you're on. And I mean, it's just like credit as well. I mean, you got that report card for financial, basically telling you how well you've done or managed your money.
Hmm.
I mean, basically, or how well you have paid things back to creditors that have lended you money. So basically, that's what that score is. And a lot of lenders they take a look at that to see how well or how they can trust you as far as getting that giving you the funds that you need for whatever you may need it for.
Beautiful. I love your analogy about the report card. I think that breaks it down very understandable. I know everyone kind of knows that report
A
card coming
report
through
card,
grade school and
right?
whatnot. So the fact that that
Absolutely.
continues on into our adult life and dealing with finances and our credit scores, that's great. So with that being said, and just quick question, do you know what the numbers actually represent?
I do. I
Okay.
do. Basically, you're looking at a number from 300 to 850, is basically what those scores are. I rarely see a 300. I mean, in my field of work, I look at credit every day. 300s, I hadn't seen a 300. Basically, the lowest I've seen is probably a 400, 450,
Mhm.
somewhere around there. The highest score is a 850. So, I mean, from 400 to 850 is range between the credit scores there. It just kind of gives you an idea of how well you pay creditors. I mean, basically, you got a 450 credit score, you probably don't pay anybody, or
And
I mean,
so
have been late on things.
yeah. So is there a particular range I would say where it's like bad, good, and excellent? Are there particular
Oh,
ranges that people
absolutely.
want to
Yes.
be there?
Oh, yeah. So basically 700 to 850 is kinda excellent. I
Okay.
mean, you're doing really well with the score. I mean, paying things back in time. 600, 699 is kinda average. That's around the average score for most Americans. I mean, but then you gotta look at it also with that being said, 600 to 699, a lot of those people at this point are actually using their credit a whole lot
Mm.
versus the 700 to 850, they're kinda older, you're getting to that spot, that place to where you don't have to use a whole lot of credit. Typically within the 600 to 699 range, you're really purchasing homes and cars, have children in school and things of that nature. So that's kind of average. Now, when you get down to the 300 to 599 score, you're really basically just saying, hey, I just got this stuff, but I don't want to pay. Or you're having hardship. A lot of people can have hardship to where things happen and things come to where they lose a job,
Mhm.
and that's part of the reason I wanted to get this, because most people with bad credit don't mean that they didn't pay people. It's sometimes you just can't because of what have happened in past experiences and things that happen in life.
I love that you distinguish with real life examples on each range too, especially that 600 to 699. I think to your
Right.
point where people live, I think a lot of people don't realize that even though you're in that range, you're kind of making things happen, right? Like you're
Absolutely.
purchasing homes, or to your point, you have families, right? So there are needs and necessities that are going on around you. And to
That's
your point,
exactly
also those in the lower range, you know, it's not always the fact that they're choosing not to, but they've fallen on hard times. And
absolutely.
so things happen that way. Um,
Absolutely.
so I guess my next question is, so who really determines the credit score? I guess outside of, the usage of the cards, like, are there anybody behind the scenes that are like, hey, this is where they should be at?
Absolutely. So basically, you've got three bureaus. You've got Equifax is typically the main bureau. That's a lot. That's one of the bigger ones that most creditors pull when they're looking to lend money. You've got Experian and you've got TransUnion as well. Now, Equifax, of course, all three of them, they pull from the creditors, and we report. I work for a credit union, so we report every 30 days, 30 to 45 days, who's paid on time, who hadn't paid, delinquencies, collections, and things of that nature. We report that every 30 to 45 days to all three of the bureaus. And so that's how they calculate, based off of the reportings from the lenders, how well your credit score should be or how well your credit score is. So it's the three lenders that we report to, the three bureaus that we report to kind of give that information for the people that are actually using credit, basically.
Gotcha, gotcha. So what it seems to me is, as far as the, I guess to sum up the credit score and what it is, it's about how reliable someone is at repaying borrowed money and
Right.
whatnot.
That's
Perfect.
exactly right. You're exactly
Awesome.
right.
We're learning. Hey, this is not only for you all. I'm learning alongside as well as y'all. So please,
Hey, I'm telling
let's
you,
go.
it goes far. But I mean, the more that you learn and the more that you want to know, it helps.
So kind of going a little further down, and we're gonna kind of dive a little bit more. I know you touched on a couple of these points, but
Uh-huh.
I kind of want to go into how credit scores are calculated just a little bit more.
Sure.
Um, So I guess kind of going through what particular factors, you know, outside, like I know you said certain things, but let's make an example. What are some factors or things for someone that will, make up their credit score? Like what particular, like our first home buyers? I know there's some first home buyers versus seasoned home buyers. Do you know like a little bit of difference with those two? Let's kind of dive into that one specifically.
R Right, basically, so what makes up your score is basically there's kinda like 4 or 5 different points. You've
Okay.
got, payment history, I mean, paying on time, making sure you pay everything with no delinquencies. It's like 35% out of a pie chart.
Wow.
Okay, so I mean, you got a pie chart and you got 35% of that is based off of your payment history. Then of course we've got 30% about mainly about the amount that you owe. So I mean, if you've got this $50,000 credit card and you're looking at maxing it out, or are you looking at 30,000 already used on that? The credit bureaus look at that and they use 30% of that amount to determine how to factor your score. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, perfect. The length of credit history. A lot of people, young people right now, I deal with on a daily basis because they have issues with getting credit started because I mean, they don't have any history. And so they're concerned and a lot of young people now, they're like, "Okay, so how do I get credit or how do I get things or get this started because I never had credit?" And so it's not that they have bad credit, it's just that you don't have any history.
Right.
So the way that the credit bureau factors that, they factor that into 15% of that pie chart of how long your credit history. So the longer you've got history and good history, it helps. That helps build your credit. Of course, new credit, they do look at that as well. I mean, I wouldn't say go out there and just start purchasing things. I mean, 1 month and then turn around and purchase some another month. That kind of dings your credit score just based off of how many times the inquiries are coming in as far as your credit. They do look at 10% of that. So keep that in mind when you're looking at credit. I mean, don't just go out and when you do establish credit and just start continuing to use it because we call that escalating debt.
Mm.
And so they factor that escalating debt into 10%. That's not a whole lot, but if you are just starting credit, that can be 10% on your score. That can knock it down. So keep that in mind. The type of credit, installment loans, revolving loans. Installments are typically like just the personal loans, things like that. Revolving is credit cards. Those are open. They're constantly reporting every month. Installment loans are more so like vehicle loans. They're two different types. So they factor those. Basically, they look at each one of those and say, okay, she's got more revolving credit. She needs more installment loans. Not saying to go out there and get more, but keep in mind you want a balance. There is a balance. And the way that they factor that is 10%. So, I mean, as far as that whole pie chart, the main one you want to make sure you're doing is paying your stuff on time. Okay. Don't be late. Pay your stuff on
Mhm.
time. And I mean, even when I say pay it on time, just don't go out there and I mean, even with most people, I've had people say, well, it's 30 days. I know that. So, I mean, I got 30 days. Pay your things on time. That helps tremendously. Does that make sense? Does that answer your
Absolutely.
question?
It does. Ask my question, and you actually answered one of my other questions because the next question was going to be like, which one of those factors was the biggest to impact? And I
Mhm.
think you said, what
Paying
was,
payments on time.
yeah, paying the
Making your
payments on
payments
time.
on time.
But what was that
Yep.
35% of the pie chart? What was that one?
Payment history. That's
Payment
one
history.
time payments or delinquency. So making sure you're making your payments on time.
Mhm. Payments on time. So
Mhm.
yeah, that's the same thing. Okay, I just wanted to make sure I noted that.
Right.
One thing you said, and I think is really important to kind of harp on is young people don't have credit history.
Mhm.
So I know a lot of times kind of going to high school, then you go into college, now you're into the real world.
Mhm.
If if your parents were kind of covering a lot of stuff or there was nothing you were really doing yourself or anything, you're now in this
Right.
real world with, trying to get access and real jobs, but don't have nothing that can, maybe back you or help you up. Say you move across the country for a job and you're looking to get an apartment or something, like what credit history do you have to get anything? So
Right. Yeah. And so that's where it comes in to where you have to really, and this is one reason I'm enjoying this, because it's really hard for those that don't have credit and just getting started. And the
Mhm.
parents are really having to foot, like you said, a whole lot of it. But there are certain things that kids can do
Okay.
starting out. I mean, and parents, because the parents have to be the gear to direct them in that path. That we have, or we offer share secured credit cards as well as
Oh,
loans.
okay. I
What
like
that is, yeah. So what that is it's basically where you put your own money up for collateral, and
mm,
that reports to all three of the credit bureaus as well. So, I mean, as a parent, and for me being a mother of four, of course, that's one thing that I did also for my oldest daughter, because she's 25, helped build her credit by doing a share secure loan. So whenever she came up with money, of course, it's a minimum of $500. But I
mhm,
mean, think about if you're at 15, 16, 17 years old and you got your money, $500, and you're paying every month for 3 years, that's history.
mhm.
And I mean, if that kid is working a part-time job, going to school, that helps build history. And I mean, the lenders look at that and say, okay, well, this kid she's 20 and that she's been had this for 4 years. She's got history of showing that. Now, I'm not going to say big purchases are going to be easy with that, because they do look at the amount that you have in there as well. So, I
Mhm.
mean, if you're looking at getting a $20,000 or $30,000 vehicle, but then you had like a $500 share secured, they're like, okay, that's not equal amount. That's not, that's not a whole lot. But she's been paying. That history is there, but yet and still, she still may have to have a cosigner to purchase. But after that, then I mean that history plus the share secured helps them build that history and that credit to where she can get, or he can get, their own thing eventually. So I mean, I think the share secured credit card or the loan is good for a 15, 16, 17-year-old to get started.
I think that's beautiful, and I'm glad you brought that to the table because not many people know that,
No,
right? Like, not many people know, especially parents, right? Like, you
right.
have to kinda get the ball rolling for them to kinda
Yes, you
get
do.
going, and then they can kinda, I wouldn't say take over, but can kinda contribute to it, and now
Absolutely.
they're building a habit, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
They're growing their own credit, and they're setting themselves up for success in the future. I love that. Beautiful,
Absolutely.
beautiful. So I
Yes.
guess my next question in this segment, the last one, um, let me pull it up. So how often does a score change? I know you said something about, 30 days or something, but is
Mhm.
there a set time or anything that we can notice when a score does change from when I last got dinged to maybe the next time or something like that?
Typically, like I said, lenders report to the bureaus within 30 to 45 days. So typically within that time frame is when, if there's been any type of change or difference in what you've done as far as your credit or payments or anything like that, typically it's 30 to 45 days that it changes. So, I mean, it's not going to change often. I mean, not every 2 or 3, 4, 5 days. Typically, it's within 30 to 45 days that you see that big change. If there's been anything change or a difference in your payment history, or the things that we had covered as far as the credit scores.
Beautiful, beautiful. So as far as the main talking points on this, we spoke on payment history,
Mhm.
credit utilization, the length of credit history, the
Mhm.
different credit mix. So like the pie chart you were talking about that all kind of circumferences it. And
Right.
then, the hard inquiry. So those are a lot of good things that you touched on. For me, I think the biggest thing that you really spoke on was the credit mix. There was a couple of those things in there I did not realize. So, knowing that,
Yeah.
and then just, you know, me being a product of the same thing, my parents kind of set me up for success, but I did
Right.
not know about that. You said um,
Share secured credit card and share
shared
secured
secured
loan.
loan, share the
Uh-huh.
loan. I know the share
Mhm.
secured credit card, but didn't know about the share secured loan. So that's good to know.
Mhm.
That is good to know. Awesome. Beautiful. Well, heading into our next segment, all right, segment 3, we're going to talk about why credit matters in the real world. All right.
Right.
And
Mhm.
um, I guess we can kind of speak directly to it, but let me pull that up. Let me that question up right here.
Okay.
So Here's the first question. So, how does credit affect buying a home? I know people look at APRs and down payments and all this, that, and the third, but especially in times like now, when is it a good time to buy a home? When is it a bad time? Reading the market. Can you kind of go into those a little bit?
Right. So as far as purchasing homes, it just depends on if it's a seller's market or purchaser's market. Right now, because the rates are going down a little bit. So, I mean, that's a good thing because we've been at the highest that we've ever been as far as rates on mortgages and homes. Um, One thing I want to hit on too, as far as because we're on credit and I'm trying to lead. Of course, my kids are that in that era of, from age 16 to 25. So, and I know hey, that's who I'm geared toward right now, just
They're
because
ready
I
to be
know
independent, sounds like.
that's right. That's basically where I am, and my kids are right now in the prime of life. But my daughter, for instance, she just not long ago moved out about 6 or 7 months into her own place. Not a home, but she's in an apartment, just getting started because, of course, right now, credit, if you don't have any history, it's really hard to get a mortgage loan because think about it, that's the biggest purchase that you're purchasing.
You could make.
Not a vehicle. I mean, not a vehicle, not just a personal loan, but that's a big purchase. So lenders really look at the history and the where you're working, your income. That's a big factor as to mortgages. But they really look into that. And so it's really hard without having 2 years history of staying at one job, 2 or 3 years, the good history of working somewhere and making good money. It is what it is. And I mean, so it think about it. If you are loaning someone 200, $300,000, you want to make sure that this person is credible for paying back.
Hmm.
That is one thing that we had mentioned in the first segment, the credit. I mean, they're looking at that. They're looking at the history of, and I mean, the credit scores, the APRs, all of that are geared towards what your credit score is. I mean, you can pay back $10,000 more than somebody in a 600 credit score than somebody with a 750 credit score. I
Hmm.
mean, it just depends on what this credit score is. I mean, and your credit is geared off of, and that APR is geared off of what your score is in your history. So, I mean, I hope that kind of helps or answers your
No,
question. But
definitely. I think you hit on a point where, and especially with today's generation, pretty much kind of like my generation and tail ending after, a lot
right.
of people rotate jobs so frequently.
Uh,
We don't
yeah,
stay in one workplace long enough. So you
right,
speaking to like 2 years history somewhere is
right,
really important. And you also touched on something that I kind of wanted to go to. And your daughter, she's in an apartment, and I know this says,
right.
does it impact renting an apartment? But I guess to kind of tailor that question a little bit more, can you tell us the difference between, renting an apartment and then home equity and mortgage? Like, because a lot of people think, oh yeah, I mean, I'm living there, so home is home, but there is some differences with it.
Oh, absolutely. It sure is. Well, and right now she's paying a rent. She's renting, but there is no equity being built. It's equity for the person she's renting from, but
Hmm.
there's no equity being built for her. Such as my situation. Of course, I've been in a home now for 22 years. And I mean, I've got equity built up to where if I want to take out money from my home's equity, I can because that's kind of like it's kinda like a cash deal. I mean, it's saying my home is worth more than what I owe on it. That's basically what equity is there. And I mean, if you continue in your home investment, your home is building each day. It's like an investment. Your home is building that equity and that extra credit on it to where if you do need to use some of the equity in your home to purchase other things, you can. As far as an apartment, you can't do that because I mean, there's no equity there. You're just paying someone else to live somewhere, but you're not building any type of equity of your own to where if you need to go out and purchase something else and don't want to have to take out just the unsecured. loan without any type of collateral connected there, then of course you're going to get a higher rate. When you got a home with some equity in it, you're going to be looking at, especially if you've got good credit, you're going to be looking at a much better rate there because you've got that equity built in your home. Versus, and I'm gonna simplify. If you've got a home that's $300,000, but you only owe $90,000 on it,
Mm,
that equity is in between that two. I mean, you see
mm.
what I'm saying? If you got a home that you purchased for $300,000, you only owe 90,000. Look at where you are there, from 90 to 300,000. So that's basically how they kind of factor. And there's other things that they look at, but they kind of factor that equity into basically what you purchased the home for versus how much you owe on it.
And kind of to go into it, because I know we built up the equity, the home equity and whatnot, but I
Mhm.
do think there are, you know, differences. I wouldn't say pros or cons, but they're different on different scales. Whereas to your point, home equity, it builds all this great stuff for you. And it's in a sense, it's like appreciating
Mhm.
your value as a home
Mhm.
equity. Whereas renting an apartment, I think the pros on that side is, you know, everything's not all on you, right? So
Right.
I think that's the difference
That's
that
right.
a lot of people don't
Mhm.
take into consideration, that they'll be like, "Oh, buying a home is the best thing." Yeah, but
It
now
is. Yeah.
now it's
There's other
all on
stuff
you,
that come with it.
right? There's no,
Right.
whereas renting, you know, you can
Right.
call, you know, the landlord or the property managers or just that and the third to take care of certain
Right.
things, and you're at a
Exactly.
fixed number.
Right. Yeah.
But that
Yeah.
mortgage, and then there's insurances that come with it and other things like that. So I think, you know, depending on your financial situation and where you are in life will
Right.
determine it. We always still want to gear and go towards home equity because that is the end all be all. But
Right.
you know, I'm just saying this as a sense of to your daughter, especially for younger people. Don't
Right.
be ashamed or think you're in the wrong for
Oh,
renting
no.
first.
Oh, no, absolutely not. No, and you gotta start somewhere. I started out renting. I
Mhm,
mean, because that's where we were. It's seasons of life that you're in. I mean, you can't just go out just like that. I mean, seasons of life to where you're building credit and
mhm,
it's not quite there. So first you've got to start renting and then you can get to the point to where you can purchase a home because you've got everything established and you've worked toward that. But no, it is nothing wrong. And again, like you said, from renting to owning a home. Well, when it comes to replacing a air conditioning unit, it's not on you if you're renting. But when you have your own home, oh, you have to pay for that unit yourself. And
mhm,
that's money out of pocket.
mhm.
So I mean, so yeah, it's definitely pros and cons for both. But your ultimate goal is to have your own.
Right, exactly. At the end, it's
Mhm.
to own. And I guess
Absolutely.
a somewhat bonus question to this, we were kind of leading and alerting to it a little bit, but can it affect employment or insurance?
As what affect? I'm sorry.
So as far as credit, can it affect your employment and insurance wise? Like, I would say, for example, like if your credit is not the best, and you're looking to get certain insurances and whatnot, to kind of cover you, your family, this, that, your home,
Uh-huh.
can that is that does that also affect there, or is that on a separate? You know, you can just buy your own insurance and we'll take care of it from there.
Well, when it comes to insurance, it shouldn't be. I mean, a lot of people can pull your credit as a soft pull where it doesn't affect your score, just to kind of get an idea of what type of person or how well you have done with others. But it shouldn't be based on, I mean, to me, that would be kind of biased. I don't think you should look at an individual's portfolio as far as their credit and determine if you're going to give them insurance. Now, it shouldn't affect the payment. You
Got
know what I'm saying? As far as, no, that's going to be based off of your credit. I mean, as far as the interest rate on your home, I hope
you.
I'm understanding what you're
Yeah.
asking. But basically, no, I mean, and some people just pull soft pull credit just to see who they're dealing with, history of what they've done in the past as far as credit, but it shouldn't be geared toward as far as how much your insurance is.
And I guess to you, you're actually saying a term that I want to kind of reiterate: soft
Breakdown.
billing. Soft
Yes.
billing.
Mhm.
Uh, what specifically is that? And does that hurt? Because I know people say, don't get your credit pulled all the time. Don't keep moving
Right.
it. but, like,
Yeah.
certain things require a soft pull. So, can you just explain that a little bit before we dive into the next segment?
Sure, absolutely. So a salt pool is basically where we offer it at where I work to where we can actually people can call in and they can, or they can come by and say, "Hey, can you take a look at my credit to see what's going on?" Kind of give me an idea of where I need to go to get it in a better rating. And so the soft pool doesn't hurt, and certain companies can actually get soft pools to where they can do it where it doesn't affect your score. A hard pull is typically done whenever you're getting ready to purchase a home, getting ready to purchase a car, getting ready to take out a loan just for personal reasons. Hard pulls are done then, but they can offer, but it's extra money for the person that's actually offering it. A soft pull to where you can just take a look and see a dive into what's going on with your credit, and it doesn't affect your score. So the bureaus do have where they can do a soft pull, and they do have where you can do a hard pull. And again, the soft pull is the one that does not affect your score.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Mhm.
I love that.
Absolutely.
That was really you kept hinting at it, and I was like, we
You
gotta
gotta
talk
talk
about
about the soft
we
pool.
gotta
Yeah,
talk about
yeah,
'cause to
and
the
you
fact
can
people
definitely
don't
do
know
that.
that. People don't
No, they
you
don't.
just hear, it's not well, it's not good to keep getting your credit pulled because, it dings you, it hits you with
Yeah,
points, this, that, and the third. So,
it
um
does. Yep,
so
you're
I just wanted
exactly
to make
right.
sure we knew that. Segment 4 is pretty much opening the floor to you. Final advice, just a little bit things just to kind of wrap up the episode and what we are doing here. Question for you that I have two questions, actually two and a half if I get to the bonus. Uh,
Okay.
so the first one is, what is one thing everyone should know about their credit? Like at the end of the day,
Mhm.
what is the main thing out of everything we've spoken on today? What is the main thing or the key point that everyone should know about their credits?
Know what your credit is and your score. Annualcreditreport.com has give you free reports, and they since COVID they've been doing it every month. So I would suggest or recommend go to annualcreditreport.com. They will give you not a score, you'll have to pay for a score, but they will give you a layout of what's going on with your credit as far as the history, how many your payments and things like that. Know what's going on with your credit. A lot of people don't really want to look at it because they don't think it's good, and sometimes it's not. But there's no way to change if you're not willing to look into it and see what's going on. And so my takeaway from today would be know what's going on with your credit. Go to annual credit report. It's free. You can do it once a month and know what's going on, see what's going on with your credit. Because sometimes there's errors on there and they can be fixed and disputed. So I don't know. A lot of people don't know that. You can actually go on Annual Credit Report, which is a free site that will allow you to actually dispute things that may have been put on there. And sometimes fraud is found. Fraud can be found that way as well because sometimes people get your information and go out and put things in your name, so you can actually go on there and see that. And if you can catch that, the sooner you can catch it, the better, because then you can dispute it. And then after 30 days, the company has to release it if they can't prove that it's you. So that's something that you may want. Just make sure you know what's going on with your credit.
Mm, well, you answered two questions in one.
There we go.
Because my next question was, what is the first step someone should take
Hey,
after this episode? And you just
after
went
the
on
episode,
ahead and knocked it.
annualcreditreport.com.
So annual credit report, I think that's really important, and we'll link that along the description
Please do.
and
Okay.
everything along with the episode, so you guys can definitely check this out and whatnot. Nitra, I think
Yes.
we've kind of done it.
Yeah.
We've done the first
Hey, I've had
episode.
fun.
Right, we've done the
Absolutely.
first episode. I'm truly excited to what more we have going on for the rest of the series. But
Yes.
first and foremost, is there any last things, anything that you want to say to the audience before we, head out for the day?
Hey, one thing I would say is if you have other questions that you want me to answer as far as the audience, put them in the comments or on the platform, wherever Lamar allows you to do that. I'm more than happy to jump into it. Again, my passion is to give what I know and I know that works and have worked for me to people so that they will make better financial decisions.
Absolutely, absolutely. And like she said, we will be placing this on the bottom of this YouTube episode. We'll tag it. Like she said, please leave comments. We look at the comments, we respond to them religiously. Also, if you have any other questions, comments, concerns, you can also visit us at www.twofingersdeuces.com. That is our website. You'll see all of our social media, our YouTube. You know, we do other things outside of this, but this is where you'll find all that information. So, once again, to Zandra, Nitra Green, we appreciate you joining
Thank
us
you.
for this episode. And to you, the audience, we thank you for tuning in to Getting to the Green with Nitra Green. This is a financial literacy and wellness series where we break down money, credit, and the habits that help you build real financial confidence. And we're just getting started. So,
Yes.
just letting you guys know, in our next episode, we'll be diving into the golden rules of credit. So, the habits that can protect your score, help you build stronger financial opportunities over time. Make sure you subscribe and stay connected so you don't miss the next conversation. And remember, financial confidence starts with knowledge, and knowledge gets you closer to the green. We thank you all
Amen.
for joining us. Nitra, it is always a pleasure being here with family.
I
And we
appreciate
will
you.
see you all very soon in the next one.
Awesome. Thank you.